Ulap, you like to present yourself?
I think there's a problem with my connection, but I think you were addressing me to
Okay.
say a few words. I think I'm Gunnar, by the way, from JA Europe. I'm the community manager in Code for Europe project, which oversees Code Week. So I do community engagement and also hub with the hubs. I do the engagement. So hello all.
Uh,
I just saw
hello.
Elena's announcement, and it was an interesting question to me, so I wanted to attend. Hi, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'm going to very fast to Hermes, since I would like very much to give the floor to Joanna. Hermes, one word, and Lina and Monica and Spiridon. Okay, Lina, Monica, Spiridon. Okay, I think we may start, since we do not like to lose time. Um, Joanna, most of the people here are adults, not small and young people, and they are very interested on your talk. So let me start. Today is one of the, I think, is the fourth webinar related to very prestigious women in coding. We had very successful webinars on the previous times, and now it's a nice time to present one very prestigious woman again from the coding world, but not originally from coding, actually from the economy world. So next slide, please. This presentation and webinar is all about the specialized campaign on girls in digital. And this is involved in a very nice and very ambitious project that's called Code for Europe. Actually, it's now it's the first year of the project, and it's going to be held, and its duration is until the June of 2026, with more than 45 dynamic partners. Actually, we're 45, but a lot of connections with other associations and synergies. And the main objective is to inspire and empower the next generation of Europeans, especially women on Work Package 5 that we're dealing with, for programming, technological knowledge, and upgrading their own knowledge and experience on code, and not only on programming, on hackathons related to ICT, and many more. Next slide, please. So Girls in Digital is a very nice campaign, dynamic movement to inspire not only women, but especially women, girls and grown-up ladies, to driven by collaboration in order to go and dive to coding world, to computational thinking, to digital literacy, and we including all these activities together with our Greek hub. And next hour on 5 o'clock Greek time, we're going to organize a nice webinar from another lady coming from the geology world. And what is against digital activity? It could be interactive workshops, mentoring sessions, hackathons, datathons, and more than 22 European member states and code partners are working together to accelerate the whole movement of skills and knowledge and confidence of the women to go forward. Next slide. So some picture from our activities dealing with the very good group of Athena Research Center. We're going to many schools, high schools, universities, liaison to young minds coming from universities, from national technical universities around Greece, and connected in order to create an open and collaborative environment from all ages to go to the ICT ocean. And today, next slide, please. We are very happy to host Ioanna Gripari. She's a very good friend, first of all, and very dynamic, active on AI, on ICT world, coming from another thematic area, as we call it in coding, from economics. So I'm giving the floor to you, Anna, to dive with you in the nice AI world. for not only
Okay.
coders.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Eleni, and
Thank you.
thank you everyone for being here. From the short introductions we had at the beginning, I realized that there are other people from different backgrounds. So I think perhaps the discussion later can be more about if they kind of identify with the things they say, I said, or what is other people's experience with this. And since I realized we don't have so many young minds, which was how the presentation is shaped a little bit. But please be a little patient, and then at the end we can discuss what everyone's story has been, let's say. So yeah, the idea was to come here and tell you a little bit about my story and see if we have common ground at the end or if there's any lessons to take. So it all started with a guitar. I know it's very cheesy, but I'd like to remind you that there were supposed to be high school students here. I was hoping that they connect more. So actually, when I was in starting the second to last year from high school, we had these open classes where you could go and the teachers were telling you, because we had some selective courses. I did the International Baccalaureate. So teachers were telling us a bit about the courses, and then we would choose a few of them to take for the last 2 years of high school. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was saying teacher or something, but I wasn't so. I was just relaxed to figure it out later. And then I went to this economics room teacher, and he was telling us all about economics. And for some reason, he had a guitar. He was playing some songs. He had a nice British accent. I don't know. But since then, economics clicked. So it all started there. After taking the class, I realized that the way that economics analyzes mechanisms and trade-offs and so on is really something that I understand and helps me understand the world. So I started loving economics then. Afterwards, I did my Bachelor of Science at Brown University, and I did applied mathematics in economics. So I was still loving economics, and with some pain, I was taking a lot of math classes because I wanted to collect tools because I knew how important they are in the way of thinking, of problem solving, and to whatever happens in the future, which I didn't know what was going to be. I was teaching for fun random courses to high school students or Greek to elderly adults. So I was doing some teaching for fun and math because it was like broccoli, so I had to do it. That's what I thought. And then economics, which I loved, and no partying whatsoever. Okay, then I decided that before doing the PhD, I need to collect some more tools. So I did a Master of Science in Econometrics and Mathematical Economics at the London School of Economics, which was terrible. It's a wonderful degree that even at the last year of the PhD, I was starting to understand the courses that we were doing back then. So even coming from a good background, it was really challenging, but extremely, extremely useful. And then I decided that academia is amazing. Anyone would be a fool not to be an academic. So I decided to do a PhD in economics and eventually become a professor of economics. So I went to the University of Minnesota, that is kind of famous for having a quite technical PhD program in economics, and which was very hard. But then I started discovering research and the joy of starting something from scratch and figuring things out and being really excited about what you do. And at that point, I was forced to do a lot of teaching because that's how I was getting paid. And I was teaching undergraduate and eventually graduate students. And next up was my first job was at the Max Planck Institute. So they don't call it a postdoc, but it was kind of like a postdoc. It's a senior researcher position. And I call this the yoga phase because, first of all, the Max Planck was in some old, nice embassy. It was so quiet. Germans never raised their tone of voice. It was just so relaxing. We only had to do research. It was so calm, and I loved it. And then I decided that academia is not for me because it was too lonely and too calm, and I was having trouble with this very long-term rewards for a lot of hard work, and also at least economics at that point, I don't know how it is now, it wasn't very collaborative. So I decided to switch careers. So I started taking some online classes in data science, and I moved to Greece without having an idea of what I was going to do. Here, all the tools that I have been collecting so far helped a lot. First of all, they helped in being completely not afraid of what was going to happen afterwards. This may have been a mistake and I may have been clueless, but I was like, I know coding, some coding, I know mathematics, I've done so many things, I'm teaching, I'll find something. So all these tools that I collected so far gave me the confidence to make this switch. Also, data science is a very small departure from economics, especially how it is now, but even back then, since I was doing empirical economics, econometrics. What I would find later when I was looking for jobs is that there is a difference between writing code in production and writing code in order to explore ideas for economics. So, but I didn't know that yet, so I was very confident. So while I was looking for jobs, my brother contacted me, and the life story is almost over here. And he was like, "Oh, you know, this guy, Ioannidis, he's the best. You should contact him." So Yannis Ioannidis was then the president of Athena Research Center. I didn't know him because I was from a different background, but I looked him up on LinkedIn, and I saw that we had a common friend from Brown. So I contacted her and I was like, "Oh, could you please make an introduction? Perhaps we have overlap and he can help me find a job." And she was like, "No, no, no. Like, this guy, he's a serious computer scientist. He's not like, oh, I'm switching from economics and I'm looking to find something." So I insisted that she bags him. So she did, and then I met him, and basically, immediately, he offered me a job by saying that we'll find something that works. So I've now been at Athena Research Center for almost 6 years, and I'm also at OpenAir and OPIX, and this is how I ended up here, and I'll let you know what I do. So, how does one day look like? Well, not from morning to night, but basically I am in these three organizations. At Athena Research Center, I lead or participate in projects that use big data and NLP platforms. So I work with the Institute for Speech and Language Processing and the Management Information Systems. So basically with data engineers and machine learning engineers mostly. And these platforms that we build in these projects, or these systems that we build, they're usually meant to quantify the impact of research and guide science policy decisions. And I'll give some examples in a second. At the same time, I am at OpenAir, which is a European reference structure for open science. And I am the lead of the monitor service, which means this is a service that policymakers from different countries, funders, research initiatives, and research institutions use to monitor their scientific output, their uptake of open science and other policies that they have, and the impact they have, so that they benchmark themselves against their competitors, find weak spots, and so on. And I lead this kind of services. And then I'm also at OPIX, which is a spin-off of Athena Research Center, and I am the head of data product strategy there. And what we do basically is we turn messy data into AI dashboards for industry players and policymakers. The focus also here is on research and development. So all of them have, I'm not crazy, I'm not doing three completely different jobs. I'm a bit crazy because it's a lot of work. But all of them have to do with the fields of science, technology, and innovation, of how to extract insights from different data sources, including publications, patents, other types of documents, and linking this in order to answer questions. And here, the type of questions vary a lot. But yes, this is what I do. So, for example, at Athena Research Center, we did this project Data for Impact that was trying to evaluate the impact of a health project of FP7 of Horizon 2020. So basically what we did is we crawled all the projects from Cordis and other sources and the project reports, and then we identified the innovations and the publications, and then we tracked them, how they went from the research sphere all the way to the people, in order to show all that money that was invested and what was the return of investment. Then in one of the monitor services of OpenAir that we just developed now is the National Open Access Monitor for Ireland, where the focus remains here more into the scientific community. So they want to see if these mandates that there exist out there to have open access publications and these things that change how things are being published
Εγώ αυτό το
completely.
έχω λυμμένο πάντως.
Hmm?
Δηλαδή το 21α το έχω μπροστά μου, το έχουμε ξανακάνει. Το έχω λυμμένο ήδη.
Sorry, somebody
Ναι,
say something that is not related to the webinar. I'm trying to...
Are they muted?
Yeah, I muted them. Yeah.
I'm going to mute them. Okay, Philip, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Right, behind this, to figure out what's going on in all of the scientific world in Ireland, for example, we have the OpenAir graph, that is a graph database that contains above 300 million research products. And here, so that's publications, data sets, software, and so on. And here AI is used in order to extract information from publications and then annotate them and classify them according to fields of science, sustainable development goals, do attribution to funders and so on. So all sorts of things that comes from publications and creates a graph database, which means that products are linked together and are linked to authors and so on, so someone can understand how all of science looks like. And then in OPICS, we do things that are closer to industry. So we answer questions, again, using a collection of data sets like the ones that you see here, on what are the latest technologies in this domain, what is emerging, what is kind of saturated. So it's high TRL level, many competitors, let's forget it. So depending on the standing of an industry player, whether they're a big innovator or a smaller, let's say, adopter or adapter firm, what kind of R&D strategy should they follow? So as you see, all of these have a lot of things in common. So what I really do day to day is the following. So I try to set the strategy for these different types of products and services and projects for data and AI. Of course. And the biggest thing I do is translate business and policy asks into technical tasks. So everyone speaks a very different language, and doing the translation is extremely important. By the way, all of these things, I'm not claiming that I do them well, but I'm learning. Then I help co-design modeling approaches for the data science teams because of my background. And for the same reason, I vet various model outputs so we can evaluate if, for example, I pick up a signal in a policy document that, there is now a clinical guideline that has a specific procedure that is people must use at a hospital. Can we say that it's because of a specific project? That can we attribute it to a specific project? Or to something else? And what does it tell us about where money should be placed in the future? I try to streamline processes and timelines because I love everything to be organized. I try to grow the vision and the business. communicate, as I said, translate, communicate with every type of audience, because as all of you know, having a strong communication dissemination team is now very important. So being able to translate what the business wants and what the technical team wants, indeed, to something that someone outside may care about, take some sort of time or skills. And then I try to coach and unblock teams. Sometimes I block them by stressing them out too hard, but I try not to do it so much. So the technical literacy that I have because of my background helps a lot. It makes life much, much easier. But the core values of communication, I said blah, blah here, but I meant to say soft skills, they're all extremely important. And there's a lot of people in the various teams that I work with that don't have any technical background, and although some things take a little bit more time to translate, they're extremely good leaders. Okay, so AI is a team sport. I think everyone here knows this, but let's reinforce the idea. So these are the type of skills that are used in my work, in all the stuff that I do now. And as you see, a lot of them like curiosity, ethics, problem framing, storycraft, critical thinking, they don't come from AI, of course, but they help a lot. And then there's all sorts of different backgrounds. And these are also backgrounds from people that we work with in these projects. So I keep telling myself, like, I keep telling my parents, are like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, well, everyone around me is a computer scientist. But actually, that is not the case. So the computer science are, let's say, the core, and they're doing excellent work, that all of us around them, we try to augment, translate, do all sorts of things with it to bring it to, like, let's say, a high level. So we have, of course, graphic design, and there's someone who's doing ancient history, who studied it, social scientists, journalists, and of course, computer scientists, data engineers, economists, things that are closer. Lots of librarians as well. So, it's a team sport. We need everyone and we love everyone. So lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit about the challenge that I faced. And since we have people from different backgrounds here, maybe they can share their challenges as well. So first of all, switching careers. So that was not easy because the transition itself, I was lucky, it was kind of quick. So the switch was okay, but starting to work in a completely new environment was not easy at all. However, I was lucky because I had very nice people that very kindly threw me in the deep end. And that helped a lot, actually, in the end, because I learned very fast and I was able to go to, let's say, faster at a level closer to my background. So if you work for like all these years somewhere, in a different domain, and then you switch, you hope that you go up fast, because otherwise it's like you wasted some years. So this was not the case at all. And being able to see things from my background, and I think from everyone's background, brings an edge. And whoever has a different background, they should try to emphasize it and think, well, I think at least, what are the lessons from there that apply to whatever field they are now. The other challenge was that the results that we were producing, the products, they depend on so many other people. As opposed to academia, that was maybe your co-author, and if you're writing papers by yourself, just yourself. And this can feel very chaotic. And it was a challenge for me to adjust. But actually, collaboration is great. It added so much energy, and it's so motivating for work, to look forward to working with others. So I think that was great. Owning an output that is for someone else. So actually, this didn't bother me at all, but it was something that I had in my mind before I left academia. Actually, in fact, multiple people or the company owning something, it lowers the personal stress for the work, which I think is important. And the value of the product and how much you personally feel you own it is still yours to shape. So can be measured by external impact as opposed to I built it by myself and I own it. So this wasn't so much an issue. Managing experts outside of my domain, this was fun. It's still fun. It was a bit difficult at the beginning because I had a feeling that I was asking stupid questions. Then quickly I realized that I wasn't, and that all questions or questions in general are valid. And indeed, having someone from a different, a non-AI, non-technical background ask questions, a different background in any case, ask questions helps a lot to find problems. Because in building that answer, oftentimes something is discovered. Maybe the tech team hasn't communicated well with each other, or maybe it's a different aspect. And once in a while, I waste their time by them having to explain things to me, but I think it's not so often. But don't ask them. So scoping time and unfamiliar tech, okay. What I mean here is that I had to press for specific deadlines because of the project, and because I didn't know the technical part of it, I couldn't scope it well. So if someone told me, oh, this is going to take 2 days and it really takes 2 hours, it was hard to know. So first I started learning and starting trusting more people that were telling me the truth. And also in general, I start with a very long buffer and do these micro checks and stuff to try to help. Of course, these are things that someone from the same background does not have. And that is also the reason why oftentimes technical teams have technical managers, because they can guide the team from a scientific perspective, not only from a management perspective. However, these are different skill sets, and it's not necessarily true that someone who is excellent in science is an excellent manager and vice versa. So all sorts of combinations of things exist. The imposter feeling in technical meetings, that left very fast, because I really wanted to understand what was happening. So I just asking all sorts of questions, and then it was fine. And the other thing that was a challenge, but that's by being a manager of computer science teams, let's say, there is much less room for a deep dive academic work. And this is okay, because everything is a trade-off, but and depth now can come in more focused pockets and more collaborative work. Okay. So the idea here, if there are any little people, young people here, or younger than me anyways, find the space that excites you. This is what I have learned anyways, whatever it is, and then AI can help amplify the impact, not only because of all the tools that already exist, but because in itself, even in ways that haven't been discovered or are not applied yet, is a tool that can go in every possible domain. So every tool somebody can collect that is technical, I think is super useful. I did it like it was, I told you before, like eating broccoli. So I recommend it on everyone. I think it's so useful no matter what you do later. And from my story, I understand, or what I liked about how it worked, was I was very committed to what I was doing, but I was very open to switch when the time came. Time will show what happens afterwards, but it's important to do things that keep you excited, since we spend so much time working. And the real strength of AI, or at least the way that I see it applied to my work, is all the network AI itself, of course, but also the network around it. and all the people that work from different backgrounds. And I think there's room for pretty much everyone. And last thing to show you is this, I think, funny picture, which is myself in college. There is a snowstorm. It is minus 20 Celsius, and I refuse to buy a jacket. So that's what happens if you are very persistent. And that is all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. It was very exciting presentation and webinar. A lot of things to ask and discuss, and you have to promise us that you come again with younger people. And I open now the floor for the audience. Just one question from my side. It's that you said again that you dive very frequently to the AI and coding work. How you found this diving? Has many difficulties, of course, and many challenges.
Which part? Sorry?
The coding part. The coding part. You said many things about SQL, as I saw. It was very technical. And do you find it challenging for the economy? Do you find any similarities on that?
Well, I did a little bit of coding in college, but just 1 or 2 classes, and I had to do it for my PhD thesis. I find it extremely clear because it has a very strict structure, very logical, and once you understand the logic, then I think it's very approachable. Of course, if someone cares about how to run things fast or efficiently, it changes a little bit, and I don't know enough about that. I know my things were taking always forever to run. So I think that's at a different level, but I think if someone wants to not do it in production level, but run it for, let's say, in a less production ready way, I think it's definitely doable at any age. It's very logical.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience? I think there's a message. Yes.
I can ask. Yeah. So, hello. How do you see the future of coding regarding the expansion of AI tools and the fact that they can code by themselves? Like, for example, ChatGPT.
I think that we're going to have to change the education system quite fast because it doesn't make sense to try to deny students or not allow them and stuff. So the skills that are going to be developed in college after, I don't know, hopefully after not too long, will be to, let's say, to be able to critically assess the output of, let's say, ChatGPT, or do prompt engineering so it produces something closer to what you want. So I think the biggest change that we're going to see, at least for the next generation, and the way they learn things. Otherwise, there will be huge gaps if they try to do the same stuff as it does, I think.
Thank you.
There are some other people here that had a different background. Maybe they want to share a little bit their experience.
I suppose yes. You can write your question here and then we may transfer it. I may transfer it to Anna. Unless everything is understood or well deserved to be a coder. Okay, if there is no any other, we promise that we have this webinar online in YouTube too. And if you have any more question and inspiration from this very excellent webinar, let's go for it. And we have Joanna always with us in Code for Europe. Thank you. Thank you, Anna, very much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Eleni.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.